Hello everyone, and it's time to take a look at the Guardian spec for 3.0. So Guardians, what are we getting that's new in 3.0? Well, we are getting, what are we getting? Now we're getting what? Focused Striking. This is for all Guardians. Focused Striking, Single Saber Mastery. These are all Guardians again. We used them anyway. I think every Guardian took them in the skill tree. Pretty much the same as they were in 2.0. Our tanking form now will increase accuracy by 10%, so tanks no longer need to stack accuracy. That's pretty good. This is the same for all tanks because taunts have a chance to miss. So your taunt and your challenging call has a chance to miss. Challenging call is actually your threat drop, or at least it was. It doesn't say here whether they're changing that. So challenging call is your threat drop if you were a DPS spec. If you're a tank spec, it was your AoE taunt. So yeah, I mean, they're just eliminating accuracy for the tanks. So tanks will have full accuracy. Your taunt is not going to miss. Some people were saying on the forums I read that your taunt is going to miss a lot. People say the taunt is a chance to miss. If you are a tank, it's not going to miss because you have the 10% accuracy. So you are going to be at the accuracy cap anyway. You are going to be at that cap. Anyways, let's talk about the tank spec. So it's only going to miss, your taunt's only going to miss if you're a DPS, basically. So that's fairly straightforward, I guess. I mean, taunt was more useful in PvP, than PvP. You would use it as a damage debuff if someone else was if someone was attacking, if the person was attacking someone that wasn't you, they would get a damage debuff if you taunted them. So essentially taunts have a chance to miss now until your accuracy cap. So I guess we're going to get accuracy capped anyways, DPS. So I think this is quite a non-issue for taunts really. So the tanks are going to be accuracy capped right from the moment they hit 60, I guess. And you know, DPS will eventually get to accuracy cap if they're doing PvE. So what are we getting for defense? The old tanky spec. I quite like the spec. We're getting Sundering Strike is being changed. It will no longer, it's been changed to Warding Strike basically, and it will no longer have the armor reduction debuff applied to the target. Instead, it increases our damage reduction by 3% for 20 seconds, and also there will be a new passive which will increase our shield absorption by 3% for 20 seconds. As a result of this, Guardian Strike has been Guardian Slash, should I say, it has been changed to now reduce the force and tech damage dealt by all the targets it hits. So again, a little bit of changes because Guardian Slash used to be your, I think it gave you a defense buff, I think that was the thing, or it gave you a damage reduction buff, I can't remember which. But yeah, they're just moving that to Warding Strike. It doesn't really change much, to be honest with you, because Warding Strike we will be using pretty much on cooldown anyway, because it will still generate the focus that Sundering Strike did, but again it will give us that extra damage reduction. So we should get this fairly early on, Warding Strike. I imagine we'll get that fairly quickly because you got Sundering Strike at what level? Did you get it at level 10? I think you got that when you became a Guardian. I'm pretty sure you got that. Same with Zealous Strike as the Sentinel. Pretty sure you got that at level 10. So again, it will be interesting to see how this plays into a rotation. I think you'll just be using it on cooldown, pretty much using it on cooldown, getting that extra shield, getting that extra damage reduction, because that's how you use Guardian Slash. You would always use that on cooldown pretty much. And again, there's not many changes for the tank, so we'll move on to Vigilance. What is the old Vigilance getting? So Vigilance, we're getting rid of Force Sweep. It's being replaced by it's being replaced by Vigilant Thrust. I kid you not, I'm not making that up. I am gonna thrust you vigilantly. That is someone even try and proofread this beforehand? It's like, yeah, we're calling it Vigilant Thrust. Yeah, I'm gonna thrust you vigilantly. Oh yeah. Is that really what we're calling an ability? We have a thrust that's vigilant, you know. Vigilant though, at least, so, you know, it's not totally totally bad, I guess. So basically, it does damage to 8 enemies in 5 meter stuns, the weakened standard targets. And so the big thing that it's going to do is it is going to spread your burn effects to all targets it damages. So of course, if you're using what was the thing? Was it called Plasma Brand? So yeah, Plasma Brand was your dot. So you put Plasma Brand on a single target and use Vigilant Thrust. Can't believe it's called Vigilant Thrust. I'm gonna scroll down. What's it called on the Juggernaut? It's called Vengeful Slam. See, that's it. That's pretty. That makes sense. Vigilant Thrust. So makes you want to roll a Guardian so you can vigilantly thrust some things. You know, just I'm gonna vigilantly thrust you. Whoa. Calm down. You get reported for that if you said that now in Swotor chat. It's like, well, I'm just using an ability. You know, so again, it's going to spread our burn effects. We're also getting another passive that increases the critical chance of our burn effects. So that's going to go nicely with her. So again, dot spreading is the theme of 3.0. Dot specs is going to be dot spreading. Yet another class with dot spreading. All the dot classes are getting dot spreading, it seems. We haven't seen the agent yet, so we'll see. They'll probably get the same with lethality because the snipers have got the same with lethality, so I imagine it will just reflect to the agent as well. So again, not really that much that's changed here. Really, there's not a big change. Didn't really need a lot of big changes. Vigilance it's a very good newbie spec, Vigilance. It was very easy to play, I always found. It's very easy to pick up, very easy to play. We're getting a little dot spread now. So that should do us pretty nicely. We've still got our cooldowns on Master Strikes. We're still going to be using that for most of our damage. So we'll move on quickly to Focus. What are we getting? Focus is basically just the same as the Sentinel Focus, really. It's pretty much the same, to be honest. Focus Burst is, again, the same as the Sentinel one. We covered that in the Sentinel one. Focus Burst will replace Force Sweep in your single target rotation. Basically, so Force Burst is just a replacement for Force Sweep when we're doing single target damage. Concentrated Slice, again, is pretty much the same. So what two new utilities that we're getting? We're getting Whiplash. Saber Throw immobilizes the target for 3 seconds. Again, good PvP ability, I guess, but not very useful in PvE. There's no reason we want to immobilize a target as a melee class, unless it's a target that we're not, a ranged target that we are not attacking. I guess that could work. Maybe if you were a tank and you've got a melee attacker coming towards you, you could maybe immobilize it for 3 seconds, but there's no real reason in PvE that we'd really want to do this, because again, it's going to be useless on bosses. Raid bosses are all immune to immobilizes and stuns, so yeah, I mean, probably a good PvP ability. We're getting True Harmony, which if we use Ensure, it will increase our movement speed by 50% and grant immunity to movement impairing effects while active. So it's basically Hold the Line. It's basically the same, only it's going to 50% instead of 30. Ensure, of course, is our increases our HP, increases our health pool by, I think it's 20%. 20% HP increase for a few seconds. It's also going to grant the movement speed by 50% and grant us immunity to movement impairing effects while it's active. So again, it's pretty much similar to Hold the Line, basically how that works. So that is all for the Vigilance Guardian. Quite a quick video for the Guardian, because there's not really, we only had to cover 2 specs and there's not a lot of changes because we already looked at Focus in the Sentinel Marauder video. So if you want to check out what I said about Focus, pretty much check that out. So the Guardian, pretty boring really. There's not a lot of changes really to the Guardian. It'll still be its basic gameplay style should still be the same from what I see. I mean, Vigilant Thrust, it's gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what it does single target. So it's gonna be dot spreading. Again, this is in line with every other class in the game, every other dot spec class in the game. So there's not a lot new here for the Guardian, so hopefully won't change too much. A lot of people QQing on the forums with tank changes. A lot of people don't like them. I don't really see them as that big a change because you're still getting all the same effects. It's just different abilities that activate those effects. So there's not a massive difference. You're losing the armor debuff, so maybe leveling may be a bit annoying, because that armor debuff helped you out a little bit while leveling. It gave you a little bit more damage, so maybe that's going to affect us while leveling, but it shouldn't affect us. It will mean that we do have damage mitigation from low level. That's the one good thing about it, at least. So when we're tanking flashpoints at low level, we'll have some mitigation at least, which again is a nice thing to have. What we want as a tank. That's the whole point of this discipline system, is to make tanking and healing at low levels more appealing. I think that's the real goal for this. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. I might level a tank in 3.0 just to see what it's like. Maybe level a shadow tank, because I haven't done one of them yet. I leveled my shadow as DPS just because it was going to be quicker. So yeah, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon, and goodbye.